Hi there. I created this video to kind of give you some ideas of how you might modify or refurbish an old Weber Performer grill. I have had one for over 30 years and I just love it. And unfortunately, as you can see here, it rusted out eventually, and I needed to replace this bottom kettle. So that got me on a journey of trying to figure out how to do that. And what I came up with was the best way I found was to simply buy a new standalone kettle and all the stuff that comes with it, and then modify it to work with my cart that comes with the Performer. So I'm going to go into the cart and why I think it's such a great thing and all that later, but right now I want to talk a little bit about how I had to modify this kettle. Up here you could see this is where all the ash casher stuff is, and that's where a lot of the water settles, and of course that's why it all rusted. But right here, these three holes are where the igniter assembly goes into the kettle that starts the charcoal lighting. And I really like that. Not all Performers have it, even the new ones, but mine came with that, and I use it all the time to get the charcoal going. So I definitely wanted to make the kettle work for that. And as you can see over here, this one does not come with an igniter, obviously, because it's not part of a cart that has a propane tank and all the other stuff that goes with that. So what I had to do is drill out these holes. So the three holes here, these two are really simple. They're 1/4-inch holes. Use a hard metal drill bit. That's important because wood drill bits won't work on steel like this. And if you go from the bottom edge here to up to the center point of each of these holes, it's 5 inches exactly. That gets you to the right location here, and it's 1 inch apart. So if you want to drill this out, that's the dimensions you'd use. I'm going to also include a little diagram at the end of this video that shows you the dimensions, so you can refer to that and make it easier. This hole is a little more difficult because it's elliptical. This is where the igniter tube goes through, and because it goes through at an angle, it has to be an elliptical hole. This one, I used the 1/4-inch drill bit, and I drilled to the top edge of this one a hole, bottom down here a hole, and on each side. And then I used a metal jigsaw to cut around the rest of the circle. It was a little tricky. You know, if you don't get it exactly perfect, that's not going to be the end of the world, but you do want to be careful you don't bend or damage the kettle in the process, or make it too big such that smoke starts coming out of there. So just takes a little extra care to do that, but alternatively you could get a larger bit. This is a 3/4 inches from side to side on the narrow part of the ellipse. You know, you could get a larger bit and drill it that way as well. So that's how I did that. As I said, I'll give you a diagram at the end of this so you can see exactly what the dimensions are at the top and the bottom here for if you're going to do that yourself. So the other advantage of going this route was you get all the new pieces and parts and all the new modifications. The new ash catcher, which has some benefits to it, and also, you know, this the new gauge is nice. Mine came with a gauge, but I think this one, the new one, is a little bit more accurate potentially. And then of course I replace all these crusty old grills that I had used for many, many years. And now we're going to go over to the actual finished product, and I'll go through how I made the rest of the modifications to that. Okay, back again. Well, here it is, finished product. My old 1990s circa Performer. This is the original model they came out with. Actually has 3 different patents on it for different elements of it. But it was kind of a big deal at the time. And it's made really well, as I mentioned. The square steel for the legs and the frame is really strong. Had no issues with that. The stainless steel top, love that. This is after 30 years of heavy use, and it still looks pretty darn good. All you have to do is keep it clean. There's a couple products I use, Barkeeper's Friend and another stainless steel finisher product. I'll show those to you at the end of the video in a separate section. I did make a modification to the propane tank. I eliminated the charcoal catcher bin that hangs down here, replaced it with a large propane tank, which gives me a lot more propane. I don't have to fill up the little one so often, and works great. And then if you get into here, the only other thing I did was I replaced this valve. Over time, it started failing on me and I wasn't getting good gas flow. That's a easy find at Home Depot. Just get the right fittings for it, and that works out really well. I do have a starter here. I wasn't working real well, so I tend to use a lighter like this. But since I've done a lot of cleaning and fixing on this, it might work. We'll see how well that works next time I use it. Down here, you'll see where we attached the igniter tube. There's the 2 bolts. Just replace those, and then the tube goes through into the kettle through that elliptical hole that I showed you, and get all the holes in the right spot, and it goes in real well. And then also the big aha for me was how to attach to the sides of the frame. And I thought I'd have to build brackets for this, which I thought would look pretty ugly. But when I got to really looking at it and paying attention to it, I realized all I needed to do was drill a hole through the square metal into the kettle and put in a 1/4-inch bolt with washers on each side to hold it together. And it is really strong and not going anywhere with that. So that was a real nice solution to the problem for that. The only other thing I've done on this is I have replaced the handle that was, or taken off the handle that was on the side here that comes with the standalone kettle. I used an angle grinder to grind it off, file it down so it didn't have sharp edges. And then I used high heat barbecue paint to paint over it to cover all the exposed metal that was left from the grinding. I also used that paint down here as well because you chip some of the paint away when you do the drilling, and you want to cover that up again so it doesn't start rusting. But that's really all it took. I was probably about an hour and a half to do all this work. I'm really happy how it came out, and I expect to get quite a few more years out of this thing and pass it along to family, and they can get more years even yet. Hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have one of these, this is a great way to fix it and rebuild it. If you find one used somewhere, I would definitely get it, and then you could make these modifications to fix it up as well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you enjoy cooking on whatever Weber that you happen to have.